Welcome back, Wheels and Weeboos, to the channel The Doge. Today we're going to be covering a glorious meme deck that actually does kind of work, although I probably wouldn't bring it into ranked unless you're at low ranks but you're still a good player. It's just that you haven't played in a while, then I guess maybe you could bring it into ranked. Anyway, I'm going to keep this quick because I'm not going to edit this video much because it's going to have to be a bit of a quick one. So the general idea of this deck is basically I wanted to try and find a use for this card, Buttercup Treat, which apparently was supposed to be used as a trading tool, but really it's not that great, and I actually think it's most useful if you're going to try and make it useful as something you use on your own units. You set a non-determination monster's attack to 1, and then at the end of your turn it will be silenced, given KR, given +1 attack and candy. So that's a lot of stuff, but basically, yeah, the monster will have 1 attack temporarily, but then when it's silenced it'll go back to its normal attack, and although it's given KR and given +1 attack, when it gets KR it gets -1 attack, so the +1 attack is just to negate that, and also the KR doesn't matter that much. So to try and simplify this, I'm basically going to treat this as something that is a 2-cost silencer unit and give it candy, even though it does other stuff. Like, those are the important things. Now, while silencing is something we usually want to do to an enemy, obviously there are some cards where silencing them is actually a good thing, and of course there are a lot of cards that would like to have candy. In fact, if I type in candy right now, you might realise that we don't actually have that many cards with candy at the moment. Like, we really don't have many. We have Noelle and we have Smolder Cake. Candy Dish used to be a 3/3/3 with candy, if I remember right, but it's not anymore. And Dark Candy Tree support used to give things candy, but it doesn't anymore. So generally what I pick up from this is that although I didn't play in a meta where candy was overpowered, I'm going to assume there was a point at which big units with candy became overpowered, especially because this seems really bad, a 6-cost 3/6 just to get candy. So, all that being said, if big units with candy are super strong, then having a card that allows us to give any card candy, although we also have to silence it to do that, seems quite useful. Only, funnily enough, this deck actually does not run Buttercup Treat in it anywhere, as you might have noticed actually while I was talking. The way you get it is through Bookshelf, and that's one of the reasons why this deck is actually not too bad despite being a meme, because since you get the spell through Bookshelf, you also at any time have the choice to pick any other Perseverance spell if you find yourself in a situation where the meme win condition of this deck is not how you want to win. This might seem strange that I've made this a no spell deck, but the truth is that this deck didn't really want to run any spells except Buttercup Treat. And while at first this seems still like a bad idea because I could run 3 copies of Buttercup Treat, but I could only have 2 copies of Bookshelf, Bookshelf is also an epic. In fact, it's the only epic in the deck, and that means that I can run it with Purple Mascot to transform any card I want in my hand into another copy of Bookshelf, so I technically have 5 copies of Bookshelf. Speaking of which, Library Lux would be good in this deck, it's just that it's an epic, and if we added it, then you won't be guaranteed to get Bookshelf off of Purple or Mascot. So yeah, here's the game plan of this deck. You either drop down an Ice Wolf or the Warrior. This is the preferable one out of the two. And then you use Buttercup Treat on it to give it candy and silence it. That means obviously if it's Ice Wolf, that means it will no longer summon an ice for the enemy when it dies. And if it's the Warrior, that means that if it gets returned to your hand somehow, it will no longer hurt itself when you play it. Obviously though, the Warrior is the best target because the Warrior is slightly bigger, and as well as that, as you can see, it will damage itself when it's played, so when you give it candy, it will instantly heal up to a 7/7. Now, while giving a big unit candy is pretty nice, that obviously still doesn't seem very worth it. So this is how we're going to capitalize on this and make it worth it. First of all, you can see we're running Noodles, and that's not just because Noodles is just a good artifact, but also it's so that we can buff these things once they already have candy, so they can get even more out of hand. But then finally, the way that you finish people off with this deck is with the Vessel. While usually getting one of these giant units isn't enough to win the game, getting one of them and then getting a copy of them in your hand and 2 extra copies in your deck is a lot better for trying to win the game. And I didn't actually realise this, but the Vessel's copy is an exact copy, which means that the buffs that you provided to it will still be there, so the copy of the Warrior you will get will be silenced and won't hurt itself. It will have candy. It will unfortunately also have KR most likely, unless you got rid of it. But I think that's a downside worth having to have the rest of the upsides. And yes, if you buffed them with Noodles, that will also count. Although, keep in mind that if you try to use the Noodles before it gets silenced, the silence will remove the Noodles buff. So don't make that mistake. Originally, this deck was actually running a whole lot more Taunt, and it was running Noodles and Solidity to go all in with the buffs. But it just died too much in the early game, so I added Prosperity because we have a lot of 6-drops here. Speaking of which, I wasn't even trying to make this a totem deck, but I just realised, wow, this is a lot of 6-drops, so this is another reason why this deck isn't so bad, is because, well, I can just put totem in here. Like, the deck already just has room to put totem in, so I may as well put it in. Which is also meaning that we're running a bunch of totemic guards as well for healing. As for these last few slots, these do not need to be the same. You can really fill these slots with anything you want for the most part. I've put in 3 Sushi Pants because I've just been messing around with Sushi Pants and this deck already didn't run any Charge or Haste monsters, so it works. But to be honest, Icy Mascot is probably better. I'm not going to lie. Which is kind of sad that even in a deck that already has all the conditions met for Sushi Pants without having to remove any cards, the Icy Mascot is still probably the better card, but that's just how it do be. But, I mean, I've been experimenting with Sushi Pants, and if you want to do that too, you can put in Sushi Pants. And Seat of the Gods, which I'm basically putting in because I don't know how it took me this long to realise this, but it just felt like I was drawing the Vessel every game, but then I suddenly kind of realised, if you play this deck and you don't draw the Vessel, you can't get more copies of your big unit. And if you're playing against someone who has headshots or something like that, that means your whole game plan kind of falls apart. So I should really make it so you get the Vessel more consistently. So that's why I'm running 3 Seat of the Gods. As well as that, the second most expensive is 6, and as you can see, there's a lot of 6-drops, which might seem like a bad thing, but a lot of 6-drops are also important cards, like the Warrior, Ice Wolf, both the targets that we're going for, and of course Bookshelf. Right, I think that's enough talking. I think I need to actually play a game with this deck. Okay. Well, I guess I'm keeping the Vessel. And I guess I'm mulligan. In fact, I'll mulligan both of these. I need to look for the Warrior. Okay. Alphys is a nice way to live through the early game as well. Royal Perseverance, if you didn't know, because it does seem to be an unpopular card, is deal 1 damage to all enemy monsters under KR and give all enemy monsters KR, which isn't that strong, but it's also completely free, so it's not too bad. Oh, I already run into someone who's not there. Uh-oh. Hello? Alright, well there's an Ice Wolf. I don't really feel the need to paralyze that, to be honest. One of the reasons that Ice Wolf is a less preferable target is because it actually has lower stats. I know you might be like, oh, it's just a 6-9 rather than a 7-9, but it's not really a 6-9 because it gained 1 health from the turbo, and when it gets silenced, it's going to go back down to a 6-8. Ah, there's what we wanted. Alright. That we do want to paralyze. And I think I actually will play this. I don't really mind too much if they get an ice. Thanks to the KR, Sushi Pants should be able to kill the certificate. Oh yeah, a much earlier version of this deck as well didn't even run Solidity or Perseverance, not Perseverance, Prosperity here. A much earlier version of this deck actually ran thingy. Is it Ambition? Yeah, it's Ambition. I was about to call it Dream, but no, that's the card that it gives you. And that was nice because you could put Ice Wolves back into your deck, and obviously when they went back into your deck, they would get the ability to gain even more health, which wasn't super important, but it was just a nice thing to get. That being said, though, Ice Wolf was. That being said, it was really not worth it, to be honest, overall, even though it wasn't. Even though it was somewhat useful. It's actually kind of frustrating. This hasn't happened yet in any of my games, but I'm currently running into the problem of just not getting any way to get the Buttercup Treat. Haven't got any bookcases, and I haven't got any mascots. I guess I'll put the Ice Wolf back into my deck. I mean, I could search with Instant Noodles, but I would like to keep that's the second copy. So once I play that, I don't have any more Instant Noodles, and then I won't be able to buff anything. Wait, they're running burger pants? Oh, okay. Well, this isn't great. I really seem to not be drawing any way to get my bookcases, which is kind of frustrating considering how many ways I can get them in the deck. Honestly, maybe I should swap out Noodles for Solidity. Maybe that was the better out of the two artifacts. Squeeze me? Okay. Well, this is not ideal. Well, I guess if I can't get my game plan, I'll just play into the totem game plan instead. Bruh, I really am not drawing my... Do I have enough in my dust pile to trigger the healing? Yeah, I have 5. So actually the net... Oh, I'm so tempted to play the warrior here then. Because when this dies, I'll have totem activated, but I don't think I should do that. I think that's a trap. Because I do have one more copy of the warrior, but obviously it's somewhere in my deck and I don't know where. And if I don't get that copy, then there goes my chance to pull off the combo. And I was about to say, the second I play it, I bet I'd draw a purple mascot or a bookcase. So far, Royal Perseverance doesn't seem to have been that helpful. So I actually think it's the least useful card in my hand, which... Well, that's the first time that's been the case. Right. Contamination is a consideration, honestly, there, but yeah, I should probably just stick to the game plan. Oh wait, hang on a minute. I can't do it yet. Because they could just attack Onion San into the 7/7 warrior and kill it. And I can't buff it because the buff will be silenced off and I have to wait until next turn to do it. If I could just copy the bookshelf right now without using the vessel, I would be fine. But because then I could get contamination, but I can't. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually getting worried now because I'm realizing how do I kill this Onion San. I kind of need to draw something to help me. Does this help me? I feel like unless this pulls bookcase, it doesn't. Yep, those things aren't bookcase. I suppose that lines up. Okay, it's still kind of sketchy to do this now, but I can get another Buttercup Treat if I need it, and I have my last copy of the Warrior. So I think that I have to do this now, otherwise I put myself at too much of a risk of dying. So hopefully they don't just have the burst damage to kill that. If they do, then my game plan gets pushed back quite a few turns. Okay, good, they're just going face. Alright, well, it'd be better if I waited until the warrior was fully healed, but it doesn't really matter that much, and I think I can't afford to wait more turns. We now have a bunch of 6-cost 9/9s that are going to constantly heal themselves in the deck, and they're not really 9/9s, they're 9/11s, because the turn I play them, they're already going to heal up to the proper amount. Don't do that. I don't think they have 9 burst damage. They don't have gemstones, they don't seem to be running charges. They seem to be more of a value-orientated deck. I don't think they have gemstones or any kind of burst damage. At least not 9 damage worth of it. I think I'm going to play the non-buff copy of it right now, actually, just in case they get some kind of board clear. Because then it's better if I keep the better copy in my hand, just in case. But it looks like I'm going to win this one. It was looking a little bit nasty at the start, but this is a good spot to be in right now. The Sands does pose a problem, because that's actually a little bit awkward for me to kill, and it's going to give him a lot of power to kill these things with. A lot of damage. But I think I'm still going to pile on my damage. Wait, did I have lethal? I thought I was one off. I thought I was one off. I had lethal and I didn't take it. Well, if I die now, I deserve it. Or if they heal beyond the point where I can salvage this. Oh, actually, that's... they might. That is a problem. I might have thrown this game. I don't really want sushi pants, do I? No, I don't. I wish I had a better kill spell than this, but I got the Noel dead. That's kind of what's important there. It's a shame that I'm going to have to let him heal so much off of this, but I think I still win in the late game at the moment. Unless his Sands gets away with too much. To be fair, he is getting away with quite a lot with that Sands. Okay, well, your Sands is dead now, right? Yep. So, I think I've turned the corner then. In fact, just because I got a full board already, which is probably enough of a threat, I'm going to play this instead and play it a bit safe and let my health go up. But it looks like I should outvalue him because I have another 2 copies of this giant warrior coming. I still have a big ice wolf in my hand, and as you can see I've got the totemic carvings just waiting for if he manages to empty my hand. I will get milled first, but I don't think that's going to matter. If only I could kill off this sushi pants, that would actually be really good because then I could paralyze them up a bit. But instead I guess I've got to trade this in. I don't think he has a board clear, honestly. Great, I'll go all in with this because otherwise I feel like I'm never going to use totemic carvings. Even if he kills everything right now, that's the perfect time to play totemic. Oh, wait, are you dead? You're not quite dead. That time I was one off lethal. If he plays Azrael, he's definitely got Azrael right. This seems like a very late game greedy deck. He's got Azrael right. Oh wait, maybe he doesn't. But are they dead? Okay, he does. I don't actually want the sushi pants. I don't know what I'm doing. I would rather have a bookcase. Do I actually trade? Nah, I don't. I was gonna say, do I trade this in? Because it won't die, it will heal, and it'll prevent this from killing this Ice Wolf and summoning an ice to block it. But, I mean, if he manages to kill these, that frees up a spot so we can use Bookshelf, and we can use that to get a spell to get rid of the ice. So... Wait, do I have a... Is there a spell that gets through this? I was going to think, oh, I'll use Buttercup Treat to silence it, but I forgot that's a delay. Oh my... Can I actually not silence it? Or get through it any other way? Ah, I've got to rely on random chance. Yeah, that wasn't going to hit. But whatever. It could be worse. I actually don't want to draw cards, do I? Well, that goes there. And sure, I'll play the other one of these. I don't see how they live from here, to be honest. They sure do have a lot of spider donuts, I'll give them that. Well, I was going to do 2 games, but this has been quite a nice long game. Oh! Right, I not played 3 already? Oh, I guess I got another one of those, sure. I'll take it. Are you dead? You're not... No, you're dead. Well, that was good. Hope you enjoyed.